The police says it has intercepted multiple attempts by vandals to sabotage operations at the river's port. The Eastern Port Command gave a hint into the security breaches when they paraded suspects arrested for various offenses in PortHarcourt. Correspondent Uche Okoro reports.
Authorities say crime in the eastern ports has reduced, but they still have to deal with some security breaches. One of the biggest challenges for the Port Police Command is keeping off vandals from damaging facilities. At least once in the last 4 months, the police have engaged gangs attempting to steal from the river's port.
Eagle Eye police operatives of the Command Marine Unit on patrol of the NPA waterfront foiled an attempt by some vicious hoodlums to criminally vandalize key aprons under NPA Berth 5. The suspects, who had positioned themselves under the berth in 5 wooden boats, ready to commence the criminal activity, were forced to abandon their wooden boats, equipment, and escape through the sea on sighting the police patrol team. Investigation is still ongoing to arrest the fleeing suspects and bring them to justice.
Many of the suspects managed to evade arrest after detection due to the terrain, but one of them was not so lucky.
Vigilant police operatives of the Eastern Port Police Command Marine Unit on patrol of the NPA waterways intercepted and arrested one Dikio Okumba, male, member of a notorious vandal syndicate near a terminal in PortHarcourt. This arrest was a result of a joint effort of Marine Police and police personnel on foot patrol of the terminal. The suspect was found with the following exhibits: one welding cylinder, 1 cotton torch with the hose, 1 cooking gas cylinder, and other exhibits, which will be showcased for our view.
The police also arrested 5 suspects for allegedly diverting a truck containing 118 bags of sugar belonging to a port user. The command promised to increase its surveillance of the waterways to encourage legitimate business activities across the eastern ports covering PortHarcourt, One, Warri, and Calabar. Uche Okoro, TVC News, PortHarcourt.
With over 100 illegal refineries destroyed and several suspects arrested, the Central Naval Command rolls out its achievement under the Operation Delta Sanity, as the Navy extends the exercise by another 90 days. Senior reporter Joseph Kunde has details.
Since the launch of the exercise Operation Delta Sanity in January this year, the tremendous progress recorded thus far may be one of the reasons it was extended a further 90 days upon the expiration of the exercise. This extension has already happened twice, on the 10th of April and the 10th of July, with an additional 90 days added to each. The Flag Officer commanding Central Naval Command, Rear Admiral Samson Bura, highlights the successes of Operation Delta Sanity 3.
Since the extension in July 2024, a total of 55 suspects have been arrested, while 124 illegal refining sites were deactivated in accordance with extant regulations. Furthermore, a total of 116 wooden boats and 543 dugout pits and 64 storage tanks were deactivated, while 6 vessels were arrested. Additionally, several items and equipment used in the construction of illegal refineries were seized.
The nation's oil production has increased as a result of these accomplishments, as the country currently produces 1.7 million barrels per day as against 1.3 million barrels per day in June 2024.
Based on these achievements and successes recorded so far, the Chief of the Naval Staff has graciously approved the extension of Operation Delta Sanity for another 90 days, with effect from today, 10th October 2024. These efforts will be sustained to ensure zero tolerance of crude oil theft in the nation's maritime environment.
Despite the fact that the oil theft reduction indices are improving, The Nigerian Navy has called out for more collaborations with key players in the Niger Delta region. Joseph Kunde, TVC News, Yanagua.
Let's talk health. As the world commemorates this year's Mental Health Day, the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is calling for more commitment to improving mental health awareness and enjoining individuals to seek medical help and early counseling. The First Lady, in a statement, calls on individuals to speak up, explaining that emotions bottled up is the beginning of mental health issues and challenges that confront individuals. According to Senator Tinubu, if there were no fears of stigmatization, people would tend to speak openly about their struggles, thus leading to early diagnosis, thereby improving recovery outcomes. This year's theme, "It's time to prioritize mental health in the workplace," is timely, especially in times like this when most people feel dissatisfied at the workplace for several reasons that could affect one's mental well-being. For more updates on this, Managing Director, CEO, Nigeria Solidarity Support Fund, Dr. Fedro Chino joins me on the news. Dr. Chino, how serious is the issue of mental health, and how would you say we're faring in Nigeria in this regard?
Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. So mental health is a very serious illness because unlike acute illnesses, this is a chronic illness, and so it means that it's more or less going to be managed over time, and more managed than cured. So it's serious. It is usually life-threatening as well. So it is for that reason that it is life-threatening and it is chronic. We need to take it seriously. In Nigeria, statistics have shown that 1 in 4 Nigerians will come down with some form of mental health illness in their lifetime. I will come to why Nigeria, but so mental health illness ranging from anxiety and depression, which are milder forms of it, to more acute and more devastating form of it, which is schizophrenia and bipolar disorders. And so seeing this statistics, which is 25%, and we know that most of the cases are not even reported. So this data is more underrepresentation than overrepresentation. It means that while we are dealing with a lot as Nigeria, we need to be we need to pay close attention. We need to try to prevent, and we need to try to get people to speak up about it. We need to try to get more people into early intervention so that we can reduce both the incidents and then manage the illness as it comes.
All right, Doc. And just today, the federal government and partners have inaugurated the National Task Force on Decriminalization of Attempted Suicide. And they've also launched the Guiding Intervention on Mental Health Services. How significant do you think this would be in addressing the issue of mental health?
I think that this is a very laudable policy, because if stigmatization is one of the critical barriers to people seeking help, early intervention, or even for us capturing data at all, then this decriminalization of attempted suicide will help more people speak up. And so people would not hide these incidences at home, in the communities, and even in the workplace. So I think that this is very laudable. And the idea is to destigmatize mental health problems. They are not problems that are sought by themselves. So people don't just sit down and decide to get mental health illnesses. So there is no need for stigmatization. And there is a way that, we can manage these cases if we find out early enough. So this is going to help reduce those barriers and hopefully increase people seeking for help, to hopefully increase also the awareness that goes around mental health, so that people can even identify it. Sometimes these illnesses go undetected or undiagnosed early because people around them just give it other names rather than calling it what it is.
All right, Doc. Thank you very much for sharing this perspective, and we hope that with this, many more people are encouraged to speak up and get the needed help. Managing Director, CEO, Nigeria Solidarity Support Fund, Dr. Fedro Chino, thank you for talking to us on TVC News at 7.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's now look at some other stories. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-Rewa, on her 62nd birthday coming up on the 11th of October. The president, in a statement, explained that Mrs. Dabiri-Rewa's contributions to the nation, particularly in her effort to bridge the gap between Nigeria and its diaspora, have extended far beyond the newsroom, making us all proud and appreciative of her work. The president lauds her tireless efforts to ensure that the rights of Nigerian migrants are respected. He also commends her work in facilitating investment and business opportunities between Nigeria and the diaspora. About 148 newly promoted officers of the Nigeria Immigration Service have been decorated with their new ranks in Ondo State. The Controller of Immigration in charge of Ondo State Command, Ambrose Akinrinsola, urged the newly promoted officers to be more dedicated to duties. Senior reporter Ayodeji Muradio has details.
Witnessing the decoration of newly promoted officers and men of the Nigeria Immigration Service are heads of security agencies and their relatives. About 148 officers and men from the command benefited from this promotion, the highest number of promoted officers in a calendar year. Decorating them, the Controller of Immigration in charge of Ondo State, Ambrose Akinrinsola, said those promoted excelled in the stipulated examinations.
We gather here today to celebrate hard work.
He urged them to continue to embrace professionalism in the discharge of their duties.
Since I joined the service 31 years ago, this is the highest number of officers that are promoted in a state command. So we thank the minister, we thank the CJIs, we thank the board controlling immigration. We are very grateful, we are very happy. You can see the excitement on the face of my officers. We promise to do more. Yes, those that have not been promoted, they should work harder and be assured that the next promotion exercise, they will be promoted.
The newly promoted officers said the elevation will spur them to do more.
Many are called, but few are chosen. But I want to give kudos to the Honorable Minister of Interior. He has done what no minister has done so far in the Interior Ministry. In the history of immigration, the number of officers promoted, we have never had it this way, the way we had it.
We should not rest on our horses. What we used to do in the past, as you have been elevated, you are going to a higher level, and you must be, at least, you measure up to that new level.
This elevation is expected to serve as a morale booster for the men and officers of the Immigration Service. Ayodeji Muradio, TVC News, Akure.
A bit of politics. Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has urged the People's Democratic Party Reconciliation Committee to implement all recommendations made to ensure success in future elections. Governor Makinde, who was represented by his deputy, Adebayo Lawal, made this known when he played host to members of the committee in Ibadan. Chairman of the committee, Olagunso Oyinlola, said the party has recorded progress in reconciling aggrieved party members in Oyo State and the Southwest.
We know clearly that the 6 states comprised in the Southwest geopolitical zone had made representation to you in the last 2 days, and you have listened to them, and we know very clearly that because of who you are, you won't shy away from telling each state the home truth, because without that, we won't easily move forward.
Yesterday, when we took Oyo State, I was so happy within me. Why? Like I said, I've been through this exercise on the orders of Governor Seyi Makinde. And when they came yesterday, I saw our leaders all sitting together. Baba Saka, Mayor, Bolarumi. It was not so when we had the first exercise.